All right, let's jump right into this topic today, transposing licks to various positions. So I'll start by just defining a little bit about what that means. Before I do that, if you want to learn more about this topic as it relates to working with, I do that every time. If you want to learn more about this topic as it relates to working with backing tracks and getting good at practicing this topic and various other topics with backing tracks, I got the class for you tomorrow. And that class is going to be at, no, not tomorrow, Sunday, my bad. Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. You can go to harmonica123.com and learn more about Sunday's class, backing tracks practice. One of the topics in that class is transposition. And to me, it's going to be the most exciting, one of the most exciting parts of the class. I'm having a blast thinking and brainstorming how I want to teach and communicate this topic. So let's just talk about what that means. What is transposition? What are positions? Because I know there's somebody listening going, here we go again. I don't know what the heck this guy's talking about. So let's just slow down. And by the way, beginners, intermediate players, advanced players, this is for anybody. There's a way to start and manage this no matter where you are with your harmonica playing. So transposing it means converting. Let's just use that word, converting from one position to another. Figure out how to say the same statement in multiple positions. And what is a position? A position helps you determine what key you want to play the harmonica that you're holding. So if I'm holding a G, what key do I want to play that G in? Do I want to play it in first position in the same key? Do I want to play it in second position and now move to D major, let's say? Or do I want to play it in A minor? So each time you change keys on a harmonica, you're changing the position. And that's what people mean when they say, what position is it in? Essentially, what key are you playing that harmonica in? And that's important to think about because it changes the phrasing and the tonality and the feel. So it's going to give you more ideas and more inspiration as you improvise. Let me see if I can pull this video up real quick. All right, so let's jump. There we go. Let's jump right. Turn that down. Let's jump right in and talk about it. Hey, good morning, anybody that is tuning in. Welcome. Thanks for being here. All right, so I had a blast yesterday preparing and thinking about transposition as it relates to working with backing tracks. Again, if you want to check out that class, go to harmonica123.com. It's just one of the many topics we'll be talking about, how to apply technique. I'll just mention this quick. In the class on Sunday, how to take technique and effectively work it with a backing track. Various techniques. How to take theory like scale work and integrate it in a focused practice manner and creative ways to work with scales beyond going up and down. What else are we going to do? All sorts of stuff. We got technique. We got, let me pull it up. I got my little note thing right here. Did I close it? Yeah, I probably closed it. I'll just give you a brief overview, and then we'll just jump right into this stuff. It's amazing when I go live how much more difficult it is to find something that I want to find. Okay. The other one would be improvisation, obviously. How we work on timing and rhythm and creating space, phrasing, all these topics as it relates to practicing with backing tracks. So again, back to the topic at hand today, transposition of from various positions. If you have a G, an A, and a D harmonica, grab those. Okay? And let's think about this. This is going to be cool. On an A harmonica, if you're in first position, you're in the key of, that's right, you're in the key of A. If you wanted to play second position and stay in the key of A, you would need a D harmonica. If we didn't change keys, Again, if the track is in A and we want to try multiple positions, but we know we got to stick to one key, it's A. We go to A and then we go to D for second position. A lot of people already know that. Third position will put you on a G harmonica. All right. Today I've got Marine Band Deluxe going for the G and the A, and my D is a crossover. Now, the smartest thing you can do before you just, there's two things that I think of right out of the gates. One is just ear train and see what you can find. You know, if you go, can you pick up on a D harp in second? Can you begin to just find those notes? Or go, you know, can you pick up each harp and do that? You could try it by ear. There's a lot of people that are attracted to that. I'm one of them. Just try it by ear, try it by ear. But you really need to double check your work because there is a missing note in the blues scale in first position on the bottom of the harp unless you're going to overblow. So I'll talk about that. But the smartest thing you can do is combine those two efforts of ear training and having scale work written out in front of you, the blues scale in each position. In first position, you can play the complete blues scale on the top. On a D harp. You can hear it. You got all the notes. But on the bottom, you don't. You're missing a note. So we could talk about what's the substitute note for that missing one. So once you've written out all the scales, it becomes really cool. You're like, well, what are the notes that I always go to in the position I always play, like second position? Right? Like a whale note on 4, bringing the bend up. Where would that fall, just for starters, in first position? On the bottom of the harmonica. Do you know? Those notes are there. I'll play them. Sounds a little lower because it's an A harp, but it's the same notes. 2-draw, half-step bend lifted to 2-draw gives you that. This is my biggest suggestion, and the reason I posted this or wanted to do this live stream today was to tell you to get good at this, simplify or limit the amount of notes you want to discover, like we just did. Then go to your G harp. Then you find that coming off of like the 6-draw bend to 6-draw, we got that note. And on the D, we got it on 4. So you're learning about where these notes fall out and where they lay out, let's say, in each key harmonica as we change to various positions. Again, let me recap what I just said in case that went over your head at all. You're in the key of A on an A harmonica for first, D for second, and G for third. You're just trying to find small pieces of the scale. If you stick to just scale, what do you get? You get licks that are built off of the scale. So one of the things I'll do in this class on Sunday is show you how to take a backing track, put on the track, and we play around with just working one short idea in 3 positions. Maybe you take the idea and lay it across. Maybe I can kind of do it real quick. Cool. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that comment. Bigum Hawker. You're learning a lot as a beginner. And here's the thing. So I'm glad you just said that. You're reminding me. Beginners, how can you work on this if you don't have control of all your bends? Well, you're limited. But you could study where it is. Even if you can't play it or do it, you can be acquiring the knowledge of where the notes lay out. All right? Now, let's go to this. No, I don't want that. Well, maybe I do want that. What's this? Little backing track. I do have backing tracks on sale too, by the way. This track's in the key of A. So just take the notes we talked about. 4 bend and 4 draw on a D harmonica. Now pick up an A harp, 2-draw half to 2-draw. You see where this is going? Pick up your G harp, go to 6-draw, bend, and lift it up. And by not moving around in too much, you're learning about this whale note, this really powerful part of the blues scale in each position. So if you're not even playing first position, now you know a little bit about how to get started. Again, the key is having the scale notes in front of you and looking at them when you get, especially if you get stuck. Two things would be helpful, actually. Writing out the blues scale for each position, and then having a chart that shows you all of the notes available on an A, D, and G harmonica, so that if you find a riff in second position, you know you can be very mathematical or scientific about the process and just go, okay, that's a G sharp, that's a B or B flat, and you go over to the other harmonica and look to see where those notes are. I do that all the time, or used to do it all the time. Now I've got them mostly sorted out. So on the bottom of A, let's just talk about first position, because that's the one where I said you don't have one of the notes, right? Blow 1 is the same as 2 draw on a D. So there's A and D. 3 draw half step bend. I don't have that note without overblow in the 1, but I do have 2 blow, which is a half step sharper, and that is the substitute note. That's why when people play first position blues, they're using that. You hear it? It's a little sharp for the scale note, but it's the best substitute if you're not going to overblow, and I'm definitely not going to be overblowing a 1, and 98% of people are not going to be overblowing a 1 when they're playing blues. So what you do is you bring in 1 blow, 2 blow, it's close. It's actually like a 3 draw. So you're close to it. Next note in second position on a D is a 4 blow. We hear that 2 draw full step bend. We talked about the 4 bend and 4 draw. 2 draw half step and 2 draw on the A. And then 6 blow, 4 blow. Now, I've spent time with this, so that's easy for me to hear and find these notes. You might need to spend some time just playing the scale work or the closest variation in each position. And then on your G harp, we have a scale that follows just like that. So it's all there. Do you see where this is coming from? It's coming straight from the scale notes. As far as it relates to the class and backing tracks can be a blessing and a curse, and I'll talk about this on Sunday in class. Most people turn on a backing track and just jam. And it's fun, and it's actually very good to do this, and it can be helpful for exploration and improvisation, etc. Let's turn that down. So I knew that was going to happen. So backing tracks can be a bit of a distraction or a crutch in some ways. What we really want to do is get out and play with people live and have that organic interaction where things don't just stay static. But then a lot of my students will say, hey, well, that's a great idea, but I live somewhere where there's like no blues jam and there's no other musicians I can connect with, and I'm not really ready for that anyway. Well, backing tracks are a great substitute. The problem is people just jam. So in this class, that's why I'm doing the class, is like learn how to use the tracks in a way that's conducive to your evolution of your playing and evolving and making progress. And otherwise, you could really get in the trap of just noodling and playing the same thing every time. I'm not discouraging you to turn on the track and jam. I do that all the time, and it's fun. So one loose way to think about it is if you want a practice session that incorporates jam tracks, you could simply start the session with your jam tracks. Loose, I get to play the whole track. It's 3 minutes, and I'm just going to jam. And then the next time, the next 30 minutes, I have focused practice points, 5 to 10 minutes per point, where I have an angle of how to work with the track. Like how to integrate technique, how to take scale work to a different level than just playing it. But the transposition stuff is so much fun, you guys. I said this earlier, but in first position, we have all the scale notes. So because I have all the scale notes, if you take the time to learn how to blow bend, there's no deficit. You've got all, it feels like I'm playing, granted the notes lay out differently, but it really has a layout similar, not too far from like cross harp on the bottom is similar to like first position up top, except that we don't really need many draw notes, with the exception of 9 draw. It's the 4 blow in second position is the 9 draw on your G harp. So we're talking, oh, did I do that right? No, first position. The 9 draw is the 4 blow. So you can do a lot of it by ear, but if you're like, my ear's not as good as yours, Ronnie, I don't have that ability yet, pull out, you can Google this. Just type in A harmonica note chart, G harmonica note chart, D harmonica, and print those out and put them on your wall. It will change your world. And that's what I got today. I hope you'll consider joining me. Go to harmonica123.com. The info is right on the homepage for Sunday's class. It's on sale for $20, but it goes off sale on Sunday. So you got to buy it before then if you want that. Yep. Using multiple harps, right, during swapping harps, it's exactly what we're talking about. Staying in the same key, but swapping different positions. Yeah, right, because he's picking up the last note. So it's, it's fun to do that sometimes, to have a couple 3 harps in your hand during a solo and, work it out. It's a blast. All right, let me just end with this. What did we have up? We just had, well, that was kind of a nice track. This medium shuffle in A from MCCD. My backing tracks on my website, harmonica123, are deeply discounted at the moment. Most of them are, and one of them's not too deep. But just go to, I'll put a link in the video description to that if you want to get some backing tracks. So you might be starting off in first position on an A. D harp second. G harp third. So there's that idea. Once you've fooled around switching harps and say, oh yeah, it's nice to take 3 positions over one track, but then center around that one riff like I started to do at the end. It's a little tougher on the bottom of first because we are missing a pretty crucial note. And the phrasing, the flow is a little more challenging to sit there. But here's the cool thing. Last thing, and then I got to hit the road here because I got to get to work on this class. Take the scale notes on first position, because that's going to be the hardest for most people, right? And find a little pattern you can just, off the scale notes, that you can just flow with and repeat. I'm taking on the 2. I'm taking the liberty of playing with the scale notes and lifting and coming back. So we're playing scale notes, but in a riff fashion. Make sense? paying attention to that whale note, the 6 draw bend on a G, or the 4 bend on a D harp, or the 2 half step to 2 draw on an A. And before you know it, the scale becomes the riff, and then all of a sudden you can start to dissect and just make little licks out of that. That's the idea for this stream today. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's good to see all of you, and I hope to see some of you on Sunday. I keep doing that. I know, I'm sorry. Let me turn this off. That's the way it goes sometimes. But I think it's going to be a blast. I think we're going to have some fun in this class discovering different ways to use these tracks other than just jamming. And that's what I want to communicate. All right. Just I'm being ahead of the beat. Nah. We could talk about that topic, but that's not on my list. It's off topic a little bit. It's related though, because it's related to using backing tracks, but you know what that connects to? That connects to timing and rhythm. So we are going to talk about that. Yeah. In a indirect way. In a direct way, but indirect to the way you're wording it. So yeah, we'll touch on that. When you have issues, yeah, like if you get ahead of yourself or get ahead of the beat, there is one exercise I have that will help you center around not doing that as much, and you can build it out slowly from a beginner's perspective. Beginners, I will have a couple things for you to chew on in this class. So appreciate y'all tuning in today. I got to make it a short one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I'll see some of you on Sunday. Go grab it. Even if you can't attend live, you can get the sale price now, and you'll get the recording and any notes automatically. Make it a good one.